What's good, people? This is Dex View, and I'm your host, Dex, man. I hope everybody's having a great day today. I know I am. I'm having a great day, actually. It's a special day for me. I'm really excited. This is my first time dropping some content for you guys. I've been wanting to do this for a long time, and I'm finally being able to do it. So, where to find this content, you guys can subscribe to my YouTube page. It's under Dex View. You guys can subscribe to my SoundCloud page as well. It's under Dex View. iTunes page isn't set up, but it will be, and it'll be under Dex View as well. Everything is Dex View. So that's where you guys can check me out at, man. And now time for the segment. I picked this segment because it's been a popular topic over the past 2 weeks. I've seen it on Facebook a lot, Twitter a lot, and I've seen it on a lot of podcasts and a lot of sports shows. So that's why I really picked this topic. Is Tony Romo a Hall of Fame quarterback? I knew the answer to this question soon as my homie asked me. I already knew the answer. But is Tony Romo a Hall of Fame quarterback? I seen a lot of guys on Facebook talking, I even heard a lot of podcasts that I listen to on YouTube as well. I don't think they know what the Hall of Fame actually is. I don't think they know how to actually get in the Hall of Fame. I mean, what is the Hall of Fame? How do you get in the Hall of Fame? Is it stats? Is it rings? Is it wins? Like, how do you get in the Hall of Fame? And as I'm watching these guys feud about Romo being in the Hall of Fame and how they compare him to all these other quarterbacks, I don't know how I'm going to start pulling out my beard hair. I'm like, what? Stop, man. The Hall of Fame is for great players. It's for great players, not good players. The Hall of Fame is for great players. Like, I've seen a lot of people saying Romo's not going to the Hall of Fame because he doesn't have rings. My opinion, that's not why Tony Romo isn't going to the Hall of Fame. If I was to say he's not, I'm not going to say what I think until the end. A lot of people probably already know what I think, but I'm not going to say what I think to the end. But it's not rings. Rings has nothing to do with it. Like Dan Marino, he's in the Hall of Fame. He doesn't have rings. Warren Moon's in the Hall of Fame. He doesn't have rings. And that's just two. But I tell you what Dan Marino does have. I tell you what Warren Moon does have. He has an MVP. They both have an MVP. They both have Offensive Player of the Year awards. They've been successful in the NFL. They've been great in the NFL. They've had great moments. An MVP in the NFL, that means they dominated the NFL for at least 1 year. So it's not just rings, man. In Eli Manning's case, rings are huge in his case. His career is not glamorous. His career is just not gorgeous. But he has 2 Super Bowl rings and he has 2 Super Bowl MVPs. That's enough to get you in the Hall of Fame with his track, with his resume, and 2 Super Bowls and 2 Super Bowl MVPs. In his case, his rings help him. His rings get him in the Hall of Fame. Don't let him win one more. If he wins another one and another Super Bowl MVP, he might even go first ballot. That's great. He's done great things in the NFL. He doesn't need any crazy stats or an MVP. He has enough right there. If you're going to make the case for a player that only has stats to get in the Hall of Fame, they better be some crazy ass stats. They better be some sick stats. Because stats are not going to get you in the Hall of Fame alone. You gotta have at least some individual awards, bro. The Hall of Fame is not a team thing. It's an individual player thing. They don't look at, we're gonna put him in the Hall of Fame because his defense didn't show up a few years, but he had a few good seasons. They don't look at stuff like that. William Kane, I'm not even gonna talk bad about this guy, but he's dumb. He threw out some completion rate, passing rating. For that passing rating does not get you in the Hall of Fame. Comeback wins do not get you in the Hall of Fame. If you're gonna throw up some comeback wins to me about getting in the Hall of Fame, it better be about 100. And it better be with 2 minutes on the clock, 5 minutes on the clock going down on the game winning drive. It's not a comeback, bro. It's not impressive. I'm sorry. Let me read off some of Romo's accolades, some of his stats, and some of his accomplishments. Tony Romo has been to the Pro Bowl 4 times. He's a second team All-Pro. Most road games with the TD. 4th ranked passer rating. Most comebacks. So these most games with the TD and this passer rating, this 4th most passer rating and this most comeback, that is bullshit. That's not going to get you in the Hall of Fame with Tony Romo's track record. A second team All-Pro in 2004. That's not going to get him into the Hall of Fame. Now you guys know my take on it. He's not going to the Hall of Fame. There you go. 2 playoff wins, no MVP, no Offensive Player of the Year award, no NFC conference games, no Super Bowl appearances. If you don't have any of that, you can't come to me with 4th best completion, most road games with. I don't want to hear that shit. That's not going to get him in the Hall of Fame. He was a good quarterback. Not great. I don't even remember a lot of great moments from Tony Romo. I don't want to make it look like I'm hating on Tony Romo because I'm really not. I actually like the guy. But you Cowboy fans, y'all put this guy on a level that he's not on. He's a good quarterback. Before 2014, he was a mediocre quarterback in my eyes. Actually, let me not say mediocre. His career was mediocre before 2014. 2014 was his best year. I actually thought he could have been in the MVP race. Undefeated on the road. Dez Bryant led the league in touchdowns. They lost 3 games. A Dez Bryant drop away from advancing to the NFC Championship. Romo had a hell of a year in 2014. I give it to him. Second team All-Pro. 1 second team All-Pro award. That's not going to get you into the Hall of Fame, buddy. You need more than that, man. 4-time Pro Bowl. That's nothing now. The Pro Bowl doesn't even mean anything anymore. In the 80s and the 90s it did, but today the Pro Bowl means absolutely nothing. Anybody can go. All you got to do is get a few guys to hold out and say, I don't even want to go, and they bring the next guy up with the next best stats. That's not the best guy going. I'm sorry. They should quit putting Pro Bowl appearances on guys' resumes. It doesn't mean anything anymore. A good comparison for Tony Romo's career is Phillip Rivers. And Phillip Rivers is way better than Tony Romo. He's not going to the Hall of Fame. If he's not going to the Hall of Fame, Tony Romo damn sure ain't going to the Hall of Fame. If Donovan McNabb isn't going to the Hall of Fame, Tony Romo damn sure ain't going to the Hall of Fame. Tony Romo is Andy Dalton. Actually, that's a little too far. Actually, it wasn't. I'm going to go with that. Tony Romo is like Andy Dalton. He just plays for the Dallas Cowboys. If Andy Dalton was with Dallas, he'd be the biggest thing ever. The Cowboy fans just, they put Tony Romo somewhere where he shouldn't be. We can have the Eli versus Tony Romo discussion all day. Tony Romo had better seasons. His numbers were better. It doesn't matter. Eli way better. He's way better than Tony Romo. Eli has dominated the postseason twice. Romo has only won 2 postseason games. Eli has dominated the postseason twice, and he got 2 Super Bowl MVPs. So he just wasn't going to the Super Bowl with his thumb in his ass. He was actually making plays in the Super Bowl and leading them down to big wins against the best quarterback ever. So yeah, Eli is going in the Hall of Fame, and Eli is better than Tony Romo. Let's end that. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and I'm not going to put this guy's name out. He has a nice following, actually, but his knowledge is in question after hearing this. This dude had the nerve to compare Tony Romo to Kurt Warner. He said if Kurt Warner was in the Hall of Fame, why can't Romo be in the Hall of Fame? Motherfucker, there's a lot of reasons why. The first one, Kurt Warner got 2 MVPs. 2. And he got a Super Bowl ring. That's enough right there. He can have hella bad. See, Kurt Warner's career isn't just sexy. He has some iffy seasons. But look at the good. The 2 MVPs. So he dominated the NFL twice. Went to the Super Bowl twice. He has 1 Super Bowl ring. Greatest show on turf. Freaking, this dude won the MVP 1 year. Marshall Faulk, his running back, won the MVP the second year. The only reason Marshall Faulk won that MVP the second year is because he had 1,000 rushing and 1,000 receiving. Would he have had that 1,000 receiving if Kurt Warner was a quarterback? I'm going to say no. So Kurt Warner wins the MVP 1 year. Marshall Faulk wins it the next year, and then Kurt Warner wins it the third year. I want to go out on a limb and say Kurt Warner probably dominated the league 3 years in a row. They just didn't give it to him that second year. Anyway, the Kurt Warner comparison to Tony Romo is stupid. That's asinine. Kurt Warner's career runs circles around Tony Romo's career. It's not even close, bro. Michael Vick. I'm taking Michael Vick should be in the Hall of Fame before Tony Romo should be in the Hall of Fame. And that might not be close. I mean, that dogfighting shit messed Vick up. That's the only thing. Other than that, Vick's career is better than Tony Romo. No question. So do I think Tony Romo is a Hall of Fame quarterback? Hell no. Hell no. I think Tony Romo won't sniff the Hall of Fame. He wasn't horrible in his career. He had a good career. It wasn't great. And he didn't have any great moments. 2014 was a good year. It was a great year for him. 2014 was a great year for him. But that wasn't enough. I feel like he finally got the game down his last couple of years. That's why I hate he's not playing now. Because I think he's good. I think he can win a Super Bowl. I think he got the game down mentally these last couple years. I feel like he knew what plays to make. He knew what defenses were running. He knew what offense to run. They finally got him an offensive line. He went undefeated on the road. 1 Dez drop away from going to the NFC title game. I like the guy. He's just not Hall of Fame material. This is Dex View, man. I hope everybody enjoyed the show today. It was my first episode. There's many more to come. You guys can subscribe to my page on YouTube. It's under Dex View. Same thing on SoundCloud, under Dex View. I will be back with more Dex View. Ice blue mink. Tat on my wrist like I do not know what permanent is. They want me gone.